Hello viewers, Super GT here. It's that time of the year again where we get a new F1 game and witness endless carnage, chaos and death. So let's jump in, shall we, to some multiplayer lobbies. Firstly, in the beginner friendly section, and well, it's the first time I've played F1 in a long time, so let's jump into there. Now, waiting for players, this was my first experience of the game, which was basically it not working, and then I closed the game. Maybe I should have just left it there, to be honest. But I gave it a second go. Going to jump back in. So it's a good start, really, isn't it? We're going to join this session. Look at that. I'm next to Alex Albon. Would you believe it? The same room at the same time. It actually happened the other day. Look at that. We found each other at the BRDC at Silverstone. So finally we have evidence that they are not the same person. But we're going to jump into this race as the best team of all time around Monza. Now you can tell I was really rusty here because I mean just look how awfully I take this. Just locking up the brakes, horrible line, don't know what the hell I'm doing, spinning on the exit, half spin on the exit. Yeah, awful really. And crossing the line there at the end in 11th, which is just trash. But good news, I could unlock a sofa if I get to level 2. So there was really good things on the horizon. Really looking forward to, well actually here, having an awful start. And then I realised, oh, it's actually ghosted. Which is no fun really, is it? Because we all want to see the carnage, especially at Monza Turn 1. The capital city of Carnage Land. Well, to be fair though, even with collisions off, people are still going all over the place. How about through here? Well, we immediately have someone actually called Barry meeting Barry R. Incredible scenes at Lesmo 1. We make our way through a couple of other positions here and find ourselves here in 8th. There's already a guy here with a 10-second penalty in a lobby with 0 collisions, so well done on that. I actually caught up with the guy a few moments later, and then he promptly binned himself into Barry R. And that was the end of that. R.I.P. Sweet Prince, and I hope to see you in the afterlife maybe one day. It probably won't take too long because I'll be there soon, given the way this game goes.
You just lie down, turn the wheel, and if you want to win, go a little bit faster than all the others.
So the winner there with some fantastic advice about how to win races in Formula 1, so maybe I'll just do that next time. And Fraser Fishy here, driver of the day. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Fishy by name, goat by nature. Then this is the guy that won the race. Oh my goodness, look at that. He's absolutely asserting dominance over me right now. And I can't even see his face, but look at those teeth. Look at those teeth, fantastic. Now, this is the part of the game that I was really looking forward to. Putting purple sweatpants on. This is quintessential Formula 1. And I sat there contemplating my existence after that, as you can see. Before then, changing the furniture in the room, because when I bought Formula 1 this year, I really wanted it to be just like The Sims. Sims is a game that I've always loved, and you know, I do think that F1 could, you know, it could learn a lot from The Sims and therefore make it more like The Sims. So that was really fun, changing the carpet. Anyway, back to some actual racing. I mean, I was really upset to have to actually do some races because I was actually quite enjoying changing my cabinets. But there you go, got to actually do some races as it stands. But this one went awfully. I mean, look how many mistakes we make here. I jump-started, then got a warning for a collision. Then I got another collision here. Then about 8 cars crashed, someone facing the wrong way. Then I get a penalty for colliding with that guy. Then I come around here, then someone just facing the wrong way, and I smash into him, destroy my front wing. And I mean, we can just take a look again. Jump start, collision. So I mean, I get a penalty for that. So I mean, okay, whatever. There it is. Thank you, stewards. And then Max Verstappen decides, you know what, I've had enough. I'm going to drive the wrong way down the track. And then we've ruined our front wing. And all of that happens within what, 10 seconds? So this is the, oh my goodness, trying to go through the middle of that gap. This is just quintessential F1 multiplayer experience, really, isn't it? There's nothing really changed. Pure and utter carnage at every corner. going into the side of the Ferrari here. Oh my goodness. Look at all the cars behind on the map. I actually have no idea where I'm braking on this upcoming corner, because Miami, new track, I don't really know what I'm doing. You know, can't really practice it. I haven't done any practice. I've just jumped into multiplayer. Kind of a silly thing to do, but it does increase the chances of carnage. And that's going to happen just here because the Williams just decides I'm going to turn right into a left-hander. Then the Aston Martin goes through, and then I cut the corner and kill him. But then I get a penalty, a warning for track limits, but I don't even get investigated for murdering my teammate. So I don't know what the rules are here. Sometimes, you know, you get penalties for collisions that really just had no effect on anyone, where no one cares, and then you straight up murder someone and you're free. This guy spins it around. Then a lap later, I do believe, there we go, a couple of other people all over the place. There's just cars all over the circuit, left, right and centre. Eventually finish in P9 and get one step closer to unlocking the sofa, which is it's just going to be such an incredible moment in my Formula 1 career to be able to do that. We turn our attentions to Abu Dhabi. Okay, so I'm starting 5th, cut over to the inside, sticking with Williams, you know, I'm going to be loyal to the team here. Through turn 1, bit of argy-bargy there with the car on my right hand side. No problem though, we both make it through. Up until about this point here, because I just go into the back of him, boom, just tip him round into an accident. So he gets sent spinning and spiralling into the shadow realm, presumably taking some other people with him, I'm not sure. But it's not really my problem because I didn't get a penalty, so obviously it was absolutely okay what I did. So I'm just going to continue as if I didn't murder someone. Who's this coming back at me? It's the AlphaTauris. I'm in an AlphaTauri sandwich as we head into the chicane here. Bit of a lock-up from the car in front. I had a lock-up too over the curb. Now the curbs do really feel very clumsy in this game. I think any slow corners and curbs just feel a bit weird, to be honest. And I will say this, that you have to forgive me just my sort of distinctly average ability with this game, because I'm not normally an F1 really player, so it's going to be a lot of sort of silly mistakes like this, getting myself a 2-second penalty for extending the track around Latifi's favourite corner. And then later on, looks like this, I don't even know what's happening here. It looks like this guy in 18th, so last, he's kind of interrupting the race even though he's not in the race because there's an X. I don't know. What is going on? You tell me, because it's just manic. It's like he's just turned into a house robot from Robot Wars. He's not actually in the race, but he's there to just destroy other people. And then I do this old switcheroo. Absolutely incredible stuff. I mean, I'm going to watch that one on repeat until the day I die, really, because that was just absolutely incredible. One of the highlights of the year in terms of any motorsport content, really. Now, this was the exact opposite. I went up the inside of Pasty 87, and we make this clumsy contact, and to be fair, yeah, I was a little bit wide. But then I made another spin in pure frustration at the weird physics of that crash. Didn't really understand the nature of how that happened, but there you go. That's just the way this game works. AlphaTauri is spinning off. Another car spinning off. Is it Latifi? No, I don't think it is. It might be on his alt account. Don't know. Then by the end here, I just extend this corner a little bit too much. And then I actually get disqualified. One corner away from the finish. Absolutely beautiful. So this guy won the race, and he brought his steering wheel up to the podium. I mean, that's a bit of a rogue decision, especially with champagne flying about. Those wheels aren't very cheap. And then, well, obviously I need to unlock this pose, because that's the key to success, really, in F1, isn't it? Posing like that on the podium. But moving on to this race here, right? This is one of the maddest races I've done in a long time. It was only like my 4th race or something, but oh my god, so much happened in this one. So one shot qualifying around Baku. Turn 1, turn 2, lock up, yeah, wide, slow, awful. And then a bit further around is the castle section. How about this? Over the curb. Trying to avoid having a Leclerc moment. And thankfully I do. This was a bit of a tentative lap, but qualifying wasn't going to be as important here. And then, oh, grazing off the barrier. And that corner is actually a bit sharper than you might think, you know. And then crossing the line a few minutes later to complete a distinctly below average lap, which put me in P10. And then we just watched this poor soul trying to complete his lap. This is a flying lap, but all he's doing really is flying into the barrier. And it was actually quite hilarious to watch. Now, I had to consider strategy for this race because it was 13 laps, but my only strategy really was just to not die. And I think that's actually the best way to go in F1. Just don't die, and then you'd be alright. So away we go from the line, albeit about 5 seconds too late. Awful start from me. Need to sort out my settings. Through here, Williams, sorry, I think that was the Alpine there, having an absolute nightmare in qualifying and now the race. Spinning out, Ferrari wide, up the inside. And I'm back into, where am I? I'm in 9th position. I'm on the soft tyre. So I do need to push and make the most of these tyres on this opening stint. So let's head here into turn 3. Up behind Pasty 87 in the McLaren. Into the twisty section of the circuit. And that is the difficulty with Baku, that you have very fast straights, but also this very tight twisty stuff in the middle. And Pasty 87 there, having an absolute nightmare on the exit of that turn, so I'm going to head up the inside over the curb and slam my way up into P8. Absolutely amazing. Right, through here, oh, Charles Leclerc's had a moment, and I've gone into the back of him. And then boom, before you know it, the wing's destroyed. So we get a warning for that collision, obviously, because that was my fault completely. And then, oh, grazing off that wall again. Before there was a virtual safety car, and it came at a very good time here because I thought, all right, well, you know what, I'll just jump into the pit lane. I'll just cut to the left-hand side, go into the pits because my wing was fully destroyed by this point. And then I just completely forgot about the interactive pit stop, didn't press the button. Had an absolute nightmare. The Williams boys putting that front wing on in slow motion. Probably could have done it myself quicker. Probably could have climbed out the car, put it on quicker than that myself. But ultimately we rejoin the safety car queue, so it didn't really matter too much. I lost maybe about 1 position there. Oh my goodness, and then the Red Bull deploying its teleporting strategy, and that could come in very useful in the future if they really develop that system. We accidentally go into the back of the Red Bull, and we get handed a very severe 5-second penalty. It was a severe collision, apparently. That's the words they said. And yeah, I mean, you tell me. Nothing really happened there, but this start was actually pretty amazing. Got the 5-second penalty, but then I slam my way up the inside of like 5 cars, and then the McLaren. So I go from 9th to 4th, albeit with the 5-second penalty, as Aki Fly, or whatever his name was, goes out of the race, which I was really distraught about. Coming down the hill here, I'm in P4, up behind the Red Bull, and this is where more murder occurs. As actually, was this one murder? This one might have. No, I don't think this one was. No, this one was the murder. Yeah. So we had VSC. He braked for the VSC, and then I just absolutely punted him off into the wall. Let's take another look. There we go. But it seems like you don't actually get penalties for that. So if you're going to hit someone, full on hit them and make sure they are, you know, in the wall. Because if you hit them like half-hearted, you actually get a penalty for that. So the stewards actually respect when you fully go in for the kill. So make sure you do that in the future. That's my advice. We dive in for another pit stop, courtesy of this VSC, let me say that properly. Before then, it took a couple of laps out of the race actually, and here we are on lap 7, and this was quite a hilarious moment. Big turns 25, he took too much of a big turn there, and finds himself in the wall. So many opponents meeting many walls, and to be fair, safety car was in this lap, but they probably shouldn't have done that because there was another car in a wall. And here, I didn't know where the safety car line was, so I just went for it and hoped that it would be okay, but it wasn't. You know, took the risk, just let him have it back, it's okay. No sweat at all, no problem, I didn't really lose a position, so it was actually worth the risk, you know, you might as well just go for it. And then he had a shocking exit out of turn 1. Went up the inside. Took where am I? P4 now. Incredible. Pasty 87 has a 10-second penalty. And actually, I got rid of my 5-second penalty in the pit lane, so that was actually quite useful. So we find ourselves now alongside the Red Bull, around the outside into this one. Nah, don't really fancy that. And coming up into the castle, you know, 2 abreast, this is something I just personally wouldn't really recommend, although they do kind of make it work somehow. Don't know how they both got around that corner, but they did. And, you know, I applaud them both. But then this is the end of Pasty 87's career, really, because as we come through these fast kinks, he decides that he wants to meet Barrier and just forgets to turn, goes into the wall. And then Pasty 87 is out of the session. Now, that was one crash. We're about to witness another one because, as I said, yeah, this was one of the maddest races I've done. And I've only done 4 races. And this is crazy. So coming through here, he just forgets to turn, and then he finds himself in the wall, and I find myself in P2. Got a warning for that, obviously, because that was my fault. But eventually, here in P2, you know, pulling away on the soft tyre, we're going to go to the end of the race. Almost have my own Charles Leclerc moment, but thankfully just avoid it by grazing off the wall. I don't know what happened there. But my luck was soon to run out, really, because, well, it's been coming. I've foreshadowed it many times. As we come through here, boom. The end of my hopes and dreams. My Formula 1 career in tatters as we graze the wall and suffer terminal damage. And that's a retirement. Not just from the race, but from Formula 1. Yeah, from Formula 1 entirely. But the good news was I'm getting closer and closer to unlocking that sofa. So you're going to have to catch up with me in the next video if you want to see me unlock the sofa. But yeah, another year of F1. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.